live on your tablet, phone, and the KUTV app. This is 2 News Live.
Thanks for joining us on 2 News Live. I'm Brian Schnee. Great to be with you. It is Tuesday, December 12th. Got some different things to go into tonight, including the Olympics conversation. Also talking about a viral video you've likely seen on the socials, whether it be on X, whether it be on TikTok, involving a woman in Midville yelling at her neighbors and doing all sorts of other things. We'll get into it in just a sec. As we go in depth tonight, you can always get in touch with us throughout the show by using the hashtag 2NewsLive to join the conversation. You can find us on the socials too, on Facebook, on X, on Instagram. Send a DM there to weigh in. Still not really getting sense of it by calling it X. Can you tell? Well, a Midville family is taking legal action after that video, a part of it, has gone viral, showing a neighbor yelling racial slurs at them. Now, the videos, as we just saw, shows a woman identified as Catherine Smith making racist comments and using a load of profane language. Our Amanda Gilbert live after speaking with the family's attorney. Amanda, very interesting because this has been going on, it seems like, for a while, right?
Yeah, that's right. Now, the family doesn't want to be identified for privacy and safety, but they did share some videos with me. We're going to go ahead and show you those videos. They say these videos are from surveillance video and cell phones. They date back as far as May. They've got dozens of videos, they say, and in them you can see this woman, Catherine Smith, reportedly yell racial slurs and vulgar things whenever she gets near the family's house. She allegedly at one point even yelled at the mom and forcibly poked the mom's pregnant stomach. Now, civil rights attorney Tyler Ayers is representing this family. I spoke with him today. Here's a little bit of what he had to say. So I spoke with him today about that a little bit, and Unified Police also released a statement today. So very big story today, Brian, that we've been following very closely.
Amanda, where do they want to see this go? Because the woman in question has a couple, as we dug into her past a little bit last night, she's got a couple warrants out for her arrest from various things, whether it be assault that is named against this family, traffic-related infractions, registration of a vehicle, some very non-related stuff to this. But where would they like to see this going? Because they seem to have a number of different people they'd really like to get some responses from, whether it be police, whether it be this woman, whether it be seeing the court process way out.
Yeah, they've reached out to HOA, Unified Police. Really, the attorney says this family just wants peace. As you heard, they've got another baby on the way, so they really just want to be able to live safely in their home in Midvale without having to deal with this. So exactly what type of legal action will happen next, that is something that is still being looked into. Back to you, Brian.
All right, Amanda, we'll look for some of your reporting also on our website, KUTV.com. And if you'd like to see more of the videos for yourself, we have posted them on our KUTV YouTube page, also on our website, KUTV.com. Planning is underway at the Utah State Capitol to prepare for the 2034 Winter Olympics. This afternoon, officials from the Olympics Committee met to discuss their bid to host the future event, along with funding needed for some upgrades. Darby Sparks been looking into this for us and joins us live now. Darby, what renovations need to be done to our venues that already exist?
Well, Brian, simply put, the parks are constantly being worked on, and the COO, Callum Clark, that I spoke with, says that parks like the Oval and Bobsled Range are actually 80% ready right now to go for the Olympics. They've done work like upgraded the pumps, the snow machines, the electricity already. Brian?
So, Darby, that raises the question about some of the more standalone. You've got the Delta Center, for example, the Maverick Center, Rice-Eccles Stadium, which hosted the cauldron lighting events, and it's where they've got that Olympic Plaza outside right now. Any indication if those, more permanent structures would need to see any upgrades?
So I asked him about that. He said that they definitely are looking into making upgrades for those as well as other venues for sports that maybe weren't included in the Olympics. However, they cannot give a full list of venues right now publicly because they're still working on what venues they even want to have in the 2034 Olympics. Brian?
Makes a lot of sense, Darby. We are still a decade away. Thanks for joining us on 2 News Live tonight. More movement by the Utah Committee for the Games looking ahead to 2034. The committee said that the big steps to get the games here in Utah have apparently already been taken. The local Utah Olympic Committee for the Games presented an update on the bid for those games today. They also rolled out a new logo, which says Salt Lake City, Utah, aspiring to host the Olympic and Paralympic Winter Games 2034. President and CEO of that committee, Fraser Bullock, who we spoke with on 2 News Live last week, or about a week and a half ago, emphasized that Utah is the only candidate for targeted dialogue in 2034. They also shared during their presentation the International Olympic Committee's feasibility assessment, which noted that Salt Lake City, Utah, provides an opportunity to secure a traditional winter sports and climate reliable destination well in advance of the games. They also shared a little bit of data from the IOC. 80% public support in Salt Lake City and in Utah, and 75% public support, they say, from their own studies that they've done nationwide here in the U.S. Bullock also said the role of the legislature has been monumental and helped Utah to win the games. Senator Luz Escamilla, part of that committee there up on the Hill, raised some early questions from the public and asked the local committee for the games where the public really can go for answers at this point.
Last time in 2002, we had 37,000 milestones. We'll create a similar roadmap because it's a monumental undertaking, but most of those were interfaces with the community.
So Bullock talked about transportation, homelessness, working together with local communities and the state of Utah. So what's next here? The committee has preferred host submissions. Basically a bunch of paperwork at this point. They need to be completed. There's the hope for a visit from the IOC in spring 2024, not to be confused with 2034. It would all lead up to a preferred hosts election. So they would choose to elect in Utah to host July 2024. So that would look about a decade ahead. Now, one of the questions asked of the local Olympic Committee was about volunteers and the sheer amount of people already wanting to help out with the games that are likely a decade away. Take a listen.
Last time in 2002, we had 37,000 milestones. We'll create a similar roadmap because it's a monumental undertaking, but most of those were interfaces with the community.
So unfortunately, the wrong part of the conversation there, but I can paraphrase here. Fraser Bullock was talking about in 2002, in order to get volunteers, they put an ad in the newspaper. And they said, you're not going to get paid, but you better hurry up and volunteer. They needed 24,000 volunteers. He said they got over 60,000 that wanted to be involved. So you could only imagine what that would look like today. If we've got people already excited a decade out, I think we'd meet the number, maybe exceed. Here's the interesting part. They said they would like to have you involved, so they're going to send you to that website, slcut.org. They'll have a place for volunteers to sign up, that website, slcut.org. Before we get to this viewer poll, if you'd like to get involved with those other Olympic-style events, for example, the Olympic Park there in Park City, or maybe some other of those professional events that happen at the Oval, you can do so by volunteering right now. You just go to the Utah Olympic Legacy Foundation website. That is utaholympiclegacy.org. Let's talk about this viewer poll. Of course, we would like to hear from you, so grab that phone right now if you can and scan the QR code on your screen. What makes Utah so attractive as the two-time Olympic host city, or state in this case? Scan the QR code on your screen to weigh in. So most of you saying several venues, as we've discussed, already in place. 18% of you, stunning mountains and landscape. Yeah. And then the experience in the O2 games, that's why it should come back. Chase Thomason, the last time you and I spoke about this, I think you shared that the O2 games are a little special to you, though, because you've been able to witness a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Too young to volunteer.
Yes.
But I was there. High school, got to see a couple of the events, which was just awesome. But yeah, that was really big. I mean, the whole community comes together. The volunteering was amazing. But it's all about, it's all about volunteering, but it's also about the jacket. I'm telling you, the jacket was a sense of pride.
Do you have
I don't have the jacket.
Oh.
The purple volunteer jacket that you got.
Okay.
I think there was a purple and a yellow one. People would wear that, and you'll still see people walking around if they had it, and it was like, I volunteered for the Olympics, and it was
that is
someone
pretty
that was
cool.
prideful about it. Yeah. So get a jacket, and you're gonna have 60,000 people sign up. I bet.
I think so. Jacket, and maybe did they give him the beret too?
I'm not sure. I mean, probably the berets were everywhere.
Let's talk about your
fashion-wise, they were terrible.
Your
just gonna be honest.
Your fancy map here with some low numbers.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the snowpack and how we're doing. We're doing okay, but the thing is, we're kind of state divided a bit. Northern Utah seeing above normal snowfall so far. Still early. It's our current snowpack numbers. Well, where do we want the snow? We want the snow in central and southern Utah right now. And again, the next week or two, not looking very active, but maybe something right around Christmas. So we're watching that.
It seems like this area here, historically, the central part of the state, was the last to kind of come out of the drought anyway.
Right. And there's still some drought conditions, little across portions of eastern and central Utah.
Okay.
So again, that's where we want to help fill up those reservoirs and get some more snow up in the mountains. So let's get right to your forecast. Today, very dry day. Still on the cooler side, but when it comes to snowfall, not seeing a bunch coming our way anytime soon. Well, it's going to be snowing around us, though. Our storm system that's bringing in the clouds today and some canyon winds will meet up with a little bit of moisture to our east. So southern Colorado and northern New Mexico, if you're looking for powder, that's where you need to go on Thursday with lots of snow in their forecast, potentially over a foot. Today, low 40s along the Wasatch Front and lots of 40s across northern and central Utah. Yeah, I know it's cold, but we were a few degrees above normal. Still chilly, though, in Cache Valley, 33 degrees, where we have some inversions out there. They're developing. You probably saw a little bit of haze. 50s down in southwestern Utah, no inversions down in St. George. So here's the storm system that's actually going to drop into Arizona over the next 24 hours and then push into New Mexico. We've seen a few flurries out in Nevada, but Utah pretty quiet. That changes, though, as we go through the next 24 hours in the form of wind. Tonight and tomorrow morning, our flow is more out of the east. You get that counterclockwise rotation. So enhanced canyon winds are looking pretty likely tomorrow morning. Nothing too extreme, not going to cause any damage, but hopefully it helps with our air quality issues, especially Salt Lake City north. If you have canyons south of Salt Lake, though, you're not going to have these easterly winds because of the high Uintas. They kind of block that from happening. But notice, though, as we head into Wednesday afternoon, a few showers are possible around the Four Corners. Even Moab might see a rain or a snow shower. And then there's that heavy snow in New Mexico by Thursday morning and Thursday afternoon. So here are wind speeds. They get going, though, right around midnight, 20 to 30 miles per hour, Davis and Weber County. Mouth of Parleys could see some gusty winds by tomorrow morning, maybe 20 to 30 miles per hour, but this is probably going to be the worst of it. So Farmington gusting to 45 miles per hour. If you have some Christmas decorations, make sure everything is secure. But again, I don't expect really any damaging winds, and they'll likely relax by tomorrow afternoon. Next weather maker, ridge of high pressure, keeps things very calm and quiet as we wrap up the work week and head into the weekend. Now, if we had this during the summer, it would produce some very warm weather, but this is happening in December. And so, yes, the mountains will have some pretty mild weather, and we will as well in the valleys, but we're going to see some inversions out there, and we expect a declining air quality, and you'll start to see a lot of pollution trapped underneath that inversion. Now, maybe a few changes, though, by early next week as our winds turn more out of the southwest. Hopefully, they can bring in a little bit of moisture. We'll see how that might impact our air. The forecast, though, is for moderate air quality for the next few days, potentially getting worse as we head into the weekend. St. George, enjoyed the mild weather. Be nice to get some rain down in southern Utah, but comfortable. 50s through Friday. Over the weekend, near 60, and we'll hover near 60 as we head into next week. Salt Lake, 27 tonight, cold, but we'll be in the low 40s for tomorrow and on Thursday, climbing maybe into the mid 40s as we head into the weekend, but we'll have that haze, and those temperatures kind of stay in the 40s. A few more clouds might roll in Monday and Tuesday, maybe a light shower, but does not look impressive at all right now. But by the end of the week, Christmas, I'm looking at it. We'll see. I'm liking what I'm seeing right now, but I don't want people to get their hopes up.
Where do you keep the switch around here so I can go mess with it? Because I guess engineering, it was broken, right? The switch for the big weather maker?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
We're waiting for it.
All right.
But maybe right around Christmas.
Okay, well, we'll keep it locked on, obviously, the 7-day, but the 2 News weather app as well, that if you want to just check it out. Hey, don't go anywhere, because as we end this show, we want to share a nice announcement for our 2 News family here. Perhaps you've seen KK on the program on 2 News Live, but also on Arc Salt Lake and her Eye on Utah segments. Kristen Kenny just gave birth to her baby boy. We've been waiting for this.
We have.
And, you know, I just hosted the show 7 o'clock, Arc Salt Lake, Friday night at the Delta Center with Kristen. And we got to take the tracks over and talk about it. And she obviously didn't have the baby yet. So it was one of those like, when is this going to happen? And we're obviously really happy that it did. And she appears to be doing pretty good. And the one thing we don't know, the name.
Does she know, though?
I don't know.
She doesn't know.
I don't think they have decided.
She's got some time to think about it, though.
They've got time, and obviously hoping for continued good health for the newest member there of the family, but also Kristen and Dad as well. I mean, it takes
Dad,
soul in everybody.
Kristen, and baby, they're all doing fine, if you're wondering, so that's good news. And you went through the naming process.
Yeah.
Did you have a name before, or did it come to you after?
We had a list, and then gradually, my wife and I would share a note, like a shared note on our phone, and every so often she would get an alert that I just like deleted the name off the list or something.
Get it out of here.
And that's how we narrowed it down.
Well, you have to agree.
Yeah, and that's how we narrowed it down. And certain names kind of grow on you, and you know, maybe I was joking with somebody today. Maybe if we can't decide soon, we'll put up a tag board poll and see if you guys could decide.
Oh, there
at
you
home.
go.
Just
Let's
what
have the
KK would
viewers,
want.
choose.
Congratulations to Kristen and the fam there, and we hope to see her back here at 2 News soon after she gets that crucial bonding time. Thanks for joining us for 2 News Live. We always bond here on the show.
I'm
We're
gonna
do it again
I'm gonna
tomorrow.
need 3 months, I think.
Yeah? You're going to need 3 months
To
just
bond?
to bond.
Or does it take longer?
Chase and I see you tonight at 7 o'clock
Yeah,
as well.
on the Arc.
Awesome. We'll see you then. KMYU at 7. We're back here tomorrow for 2 News Live. See you then.